Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and welcome in, ladies. Hello, Coy. Welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Sybil. Hey, Yolanda. It's great to be back. How are y'all doing?
Just fine, thank you. Yolanda,
I'm good. Thank you
how
for
are
asking.
you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. How y'all doing today?
Today's Today was a good day. Coy, you blew us off last week for a John Legend concert.
How
Please
I
was
tell me it
it?
was
did.
good.
It was nice. It was very nice. So my best friend and I went to see John Legend just outside of Atlanta at there's an amphitheater concert venue up in Alpharetta. It's about 30 minutes north of Atlanta. It's very, very nice. It's a very long walk. So we spent a lot of the time at the concert walking to our seats, walking from parking, walking to concessions, just walking.
See,
But it was
Sybil,
very
that's
nice.
why I can't do shows because I can't do all of that. You remember last week when I said I can't do all those shows? That's
Mhm.
part of it. It's a lot. It takes a lot to see a show, and she's young and in shape. Just imagine how I feel. But how was the show? Who was he with?
He was with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra.
Oh,
Nice. Did he do
So
his children's any music from his children's album?
I'm not sure if he did. Then I didn't recognize that it was from the children's
He
album.
would have said this is from the
Yeah,
new album. Yeah.
yeah, I think he did. I think he did. I can't recall the name of the song. I think he might have done one, but the music that he played was very, very beautiful. There was also like a choir that was there. I'm not sure who it was, if it was an Atlanta Mass Choir or who they were, but everybody sang beautifully. There are a lot of great musicians up there that joined him. He had like a story time to go along with a lot of the songs that he sang, how he created the songs, talked about his life story. And that's how like the flow of the concert went, was just like basically starting out with, well, I started playing music because my grandmother taught me,
oh, that's right.
and how, he came into that, how her passing kind of inspired other songs, how he met his wife, songs about her, songs about their children, his life, and things like that. News articles that he had saying that he was going to be a famous musician as a child. So that was very, very interesting.
That
I
he's going
liked
to
it.
be legendary.
Yep. And how he stuck with the name Legend, even though he wasn't one at the time.
Yeah, well, you project it. Sometimes
Oh,
it
that's
works.
not his real name?
No, it's
No.
Stevens. If I'm not
John
mistaken, it's John
Stevens?
Stevens. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, good. I'm glad you had a good time.
That's nice.
Yolanda, how you feeling?
I feel good.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a good Monday.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Yeah. Life is good.
Well, I was in Atlanta this weekend for the show with J.
What?
Anthony Brown and friends. Yes, and it was a good time. Was had by all. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But
Y'all left me out.
no, 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 we didn't. But it was fun, and I got to see a lot of people who listened to the show. As a matter of fact, so it was a great time and fun. It was a lot of fun at the City Winery. So thanks, Jay, for the invite there, and J. Anthony Brown and friends. Shell Purcell was one of the young ladies, as well as Cookie. I can't remember Cookie's last name. And and then there was a James Brown impressionist there. It was quite the entertainment extravaganza.
Man.
So let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday effort to super serve the African American community. And we do this with a lot of our contributors who are also Black and writing about stories that pertain to Black people and also affect Black people. Coy Malone is our social justice contributor, and she wrote about the death of Jayvon McGee and all the questions surrounding this Chicago truck driver.
Oh goodness, this one is pretty heavy. I've been seeing a lot of traction about this on social media, and I've been able to locate some information according to law enforcement who investigated the death of 21-year-old Jayvon McGee of Chicago, who was a truck driver. Apparently, he was found dead with a rope around his neck
Mm.
in
Goodness.
Henderson. I believe this is North Carolina. Now, the details surrounding his death are very, very questionable. However, police are stating that this was not a lynching, as a lot of people allege on social media.
His family.
Yeah, his family, people that have been, creating videos, including one of his family members, a cousin, that created a video that went viral on TikTok. Apparently, according to the police, he was not swinging from a tree. The rope was wrapped around his neck, and it was not a noose, as if those are the things that qualify for a lynching. However, a Vance County search warrant outlined the steps of the investigation and evidence that has been found so far. They say on the morning of September 11th, the sheriff's office was dispatched after a report of a possible suicide, according to the warrant. And a detective found a man sitting at the base of a tree with a blue rope wrapped around his neck. And according to the investigation, he displayed no signs of visible assault or any outside trauma. There was a paper wrapping with a blue rope and Walmart.com and an unopened wraps like that people use for smoking, like smoking the tobacco wraps. They had an unopened pack of that near him. There was no identification found on him. And so the detective went to the Walmart in Henderson, where he linked the information to this young man, apparently using the self-checkout at 6:20 p.m. on September 10th. So there's Walmart surveillance video apparently showing him wearing the same clothing that he was found in at the Walmart and leaving Walmart alone and getting into his truck. There's also surveillance videos from a Hampton Inn and a smoke shop where he purchased the tobacco wrapper, and also walking alone.
When you say tobacco wrapper, you mean like rolling papers?
Yes. And not like the rolling papers, like there's the thicker kind that are like the tobacco leaf that's like dried out.
Okay.
Like that kind. And
or like a cigar then?
Yeah, kind of like a cigar.
Okay.
Like a cigar wrapper. And so they're saying that the surveillance video showed him alone at the smoke shop and walking alone with a white bag toward the direction where his body was found. So the TikTok user that says she's McGee's cousin, her name is Scotty Primpin, Primpin, says that the family doesn't believe the investigation findings and they're calling this a lynching. Many social media users are also calling this a lynching. And the family has hired civil rights attorneys Harry Daniels, and Lee Merritt. And according to Attorney Daniels, officials haven't shared any findings with the family, and they haven't let them view his body.
So I reached out to Attorney Lee Merritt. He is going to join us, not tonight. I don't think we can make it happen, but he is going to join us with some updates and perhaps give some more perspective. I guess they, have to do their due diligence. And as you said, this happened in North Carolina, and Henderson is near Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken. So they have to go there and I guess gather the family and do their investigation in order to move forward in this case. But we will get him and because there are a lot of questions. And the thing that really struck me was just the emotionalism of his cousin, and how people were saying it's not a lynching, it's a suicide, just like they said, and she was becoming more distraught and upset every time someone would respond to this, and of course I think people were just kind of pulling her chain, if you will, trying to get to her and to make her snap. But I'm glad that she is getting that they have engendered enough attention that first of all, this became a news story, and secondly, that some help is on its way. So hopefully.
So before you move on, Coy, let me ask you a few questions, because I've been hearing remnants of this story, but it's still kind of confusing to me. So why do we think it was a lynching?
Because he was found by himself with a rope around his neck. He had no signs of, they say, no signs of any type of mental illness or anything like that. He wasn't going through anything. He's in the middle of almost nowhere, in a place known to have a history of lynchings.
Okay, so hold on. I just want the facts, just to understand. So how was the body found?
He was found, and I do have this in the article. I'm scroll into it right now.
Okay.
But apparently he was found like kind of almost like he was standing, something like that. And there was the rope was still around his neck.
Right.
And let's see, according to
You said he was
this,
found standing?
it was like he was sitting at the man's feet. Investigators found ripped paper. It was at his feet. And let's see, it doesn't really say exactly how he was positioned, but from what I understand, he was like kind of sitting at the bottom of the tree.
Oh, okay. Okay. So would we think that's what I was trying to get to? I'm just really confused. We think that whomever did this hung him, then took him down and left him.
He could have fallen down.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't tied in a noose. So usually when they do this with a noose, the person is still there hanging until they're found.
I don't know, but
yeah. So when there isn't a noose, that means it was just, kind of loosely done. So to me, that sounds like the rope was wrapped around his neck. They pulled the rope around the other side until he died, and then let it go.
But there wasn't any they had no evidence of struggle or trauma or anything like that?
Right.
That's what they say. There was no outside.
But we haven't seen the body yet. So the family hasn't viewed the body?
Correct. They haven't let them see it yet. They haven't let them see the investigation findings. And also, it's not unusual for a truck driver to purchase ropes. Not unusual. Depends on what kind of load they have. If it's something that needs to be secured, for all we know, he could have just been going to smoke.
Right.
He wanted to do it away from the hotel, away from his truck, so he doesn't get in trouble.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. Hopefully, you keep us informed and updated on the story.
It's an awful story.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. That's why I need you to find another uplifting social justice story. Just right.
Oh, I'm trying today. I'm really trying.
I know. I can imagine.
Much better.
And looking ahead to your story tomorrow, 2 little Black girls and being bullied, and the school district in Massachusetts charging the girls with bullying, as opposed to they are the bullied, and they're charging them with the bullying tactics, and so it's one of those screwy kind of situations. We've seen this before, but they're it looks like they and their family are fighting back.
Right, they are.
Yeah. Okay. Some of the other things that you'll find in the What You Need to Know newsletter, it is Ministry Monday, and our friend Willie Mae McIver talks about refuge and taking refuge in God. Not necessarily in a place, but in the Holy Spirit. Maybe it's refuge in your place of worship, but wherever it is, she is talking about that, and of course applies the Bible to this, and it just makes for an interesting conversation of what does one consider refuge, and how does one get that, or how does one feel as though they've received refuge in the spirit of God or in the spirit of whoever your higher power is. But she always does a really great job, especially for those of us that missed church yesterday. Take a look at that, as well as this is our partners at Black Health Matters, also giving us an opportunity to talk about some things like food. How was it put? Food myths that we still believe in, like the fact that they say that a lot of us will go for when we go out to eat, or when I go out to eat, not when I'm preparing at my own home, but you will have eggs with just the egg whites, because the yolk of the egg is supposed to contribute to high cholesterol, and the article says that's a myth. That's not true.
Wow.
And so that's interesting in that respect, but there are other things that as well. But and I don't know how these and how many other times you see this particular story. It's still so no, that's not true, and yet I don't know how we're going to finally believe that these are myths, and that we've been missing out on the good yolk. for a very long time. But a nutrition myth that we still believe in, and this is just part one. They compiled a list of them, and eating egg yolks will kill you. Does that sound familiar? We've long been told that eating eggs, especially the yolks, causes high cholesterol and can lead to cardiovascular disease and death. That is the first one. But as I said, there are others, and take a look at that in Black Health Matters. That is our partner there, and it's a good time to kind of take a look at this. We need to juice, and we need juices to juice cleanses to detox the body and jumpstart a weight loss. They say drinking fruits and veggies may seem like can get you in your daily vitamins and minerals, but they say that it is not necessarily true. Entirely believable, but it's just not true. Adding more fruits and vegetables to our meals and snacks has the evidence to support that the idea of juicing your daily fruits and vegetables cleanses your body more than eating them whole in whole form, and staying adequately hydrated
So,
should be
Sybil, that's what I heard about the juicing. The juicing part is when you do not put food in your mouth, chew it, allow it to go down and go through the process, that the natural function of the body that you're missing out. And so all this juicing is really not good for your overall. And even then, I heard last week or a couple of weeks ago that eating a lot of raw vegetables
hmm
is not good for your system because the system isn't designed to digest all vegetables and roughage and what have you.
hmm
So live
Supposed to
your
chop it
life.
up. Yeah. Supposed to chop it up.
Yeah.
Well,
And
isn't that what
cooking.
juicing does? Isn't that chop it up?
Yeah, in a sense, but I don't know, because we've learned so many different things. Like
Right.
I was told, or what I learned was when you juice, you're giving your body a break from all that chewing and having to digest. It just makes it easier, but it's not something that you should do like permanently or for like long term.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
So here's one that I followed, and they say that, and I had doctors say this: eating soy increases the risk of breast cancer.
Yeah, I've heard
I
that
mean,
too.
I buy soy free soy sauce. I don't even use soy candles, because I don't want to exacerbate the possibility of getting breast cancer. It's been associated with cancer, but it's still the most important and popular plant protein and the central component of several Asian cultures, and it's widely used in diverse populations worldwide. They say soy milk emerged in Europe and in the US in the 1980s, but it wasn't until the 90s that uh, people started talking about the risk of using soy milk and soy products. So
But
um,
why?
check out this. They said that they don't find a connection between the use of soy and breast cancer. It says it seems to stem from misinterpretations of scientific evidence in the past. Breastcancer.org attributes older studies that were performed with rats suggesting that large doses of isoflavones found in soybeans stimulated breast cancer cells to grow in petri dishes. However, there's no evidence to suggest the same effect in people.
Hmm. Well, it
Live
makes
your
sense.
life.
That makes sense because we have one of the largest, if not the largest, amount of people that have breast cancer in this country. And when you look at the statistics compared to Asian countries that do have soy-based diets, their numbers are not like ours.
I agree with that, but I think that there's some other things that probably contribute to the breast cancer numbers, the escalation of numbers for men and women. But soy, I'm just gonna stick to staying away from it. But that's just my choice. I mean, I don't. I encourage people to take a look at this because I think it's very interesting. As they
I get it
said,
sometimes.
food myths.
Yeah.
Fresh produce is healthier than frozen or canned versions. Why is that? So take a look at that.
Because it's fresh.
But that's a myth.
Oh, that's a myth.
It's a myth.
That's not true.
While freezing may affect the texture of your fruit, when it thaws, fresh fruit retains its natural texture better. For those who do not have access to fresh produce or proper storage conditions, frozen or canned fruit and vegetables are a convenient and healthy alternative. And
Mm.
so they say, according to the American Heart Association, frozen and canned options can be healthy alternatives to fresh produce, the operative word being canned.
They're trying to get us to spend more money at the grocery store because we've been complaining about prices.
Is that what it is?
I don't think Black Health Matters.
Is that what it is, Coy?
Probably.
Okay.
Because you can't tell me green beans floating in water.
That makes no
better
sense.
than
That makes no sense. That's why you got to let it go.
But I don't have a problem with frozen vegetables because they're frozen fresh. I mean,
yeah,
they're supposed to be, when they picked and then they go immediately into the flash freezing process. All right, let's move to trending topics. As I mentioned, great crowds this weekend at J. Anthony Brown show at the City Winery. Thanks to Michelle, our friend Michelle and Summerall came out, and other people who listen and watch the show. And it was just a lot of fun to hang out with Myra and Jay and my good friend Stephanie, and who is feeling much better, and George Wallace with his cantankerous self, cantankerous. And can I tell you how much I hate the Atlanta airport?
Yeah.
I don't use the word hate very often, but I dislike it a lot.
You got to prepare for it, is what it is.
It is. It's. I need a lift.
You gotta prepare for it. I tell people you better get there 2 hours, ideally 2.5 hours before your flight.
That's crazy. Getting through security. It's like you start on the south end, you go all the way to the north end, or vice versa, and then you got to circle around and around and around. It's like, well, what the hell is pre-check for? You got to do all of this, and it's like a cattle call. It's awful. The more I travel, the more I love DFW.
There's a page, quite a few different Atlanta pages, but one in particular often posts on their stories like how good or bad the wait is at TSA today.
Yeah.
With people showing like videos of this TSA today, it's moving good today. Oh, it's moving good today. Surprise.
And this is at 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
On a Sunday. It's like,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's bad. Wow. It's bad. You got to get there at least 2 hours before your flight. You ain't getting there 2 hours before your flight, you might as well pretty much hang it up.
Yeah. And that's what the Uber driver told me too. I was like, "What time is your flight?" And I said 7:45. He goes, "Oh," but I rushed through and I it's just trying to find my way and trying to the TSA this way, and it ends up going that way, and it's just
even on American, Sybil. Did you fly American?
Yep.
Well, maybe it's better since American is on.
Well, nobody is segregated. Nobody is segregated according to airlines. No one is segregated.
It's not. So American don't have their own hub anymore?
No. No, it's everybody is in that cattle call. And I mean, everybody.
I risked it once, getting there about an hour and a half, maybe an hour before my flight on my last trip. And I said, oh, y'all, I'm probably about to miss this. And I got there maybe 10 minutes. 15 before they started boarding, but it was a Thursday, so I kind of know like Thursdays aren't really that busy.
Right.
Kimberly Jackson on Facebook said maybe pre-check is a myth.
Well, that and clear, because the clear people are left of like, well, you usually go from clear right to the front of pre-check. Like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. Mine stopped working, so.
Sybil, we skipped what's really going on. Is it because you're not interested in the question that I posed?
Oh, we skipped too. We did skip what's really going on. No, I forgot. I just went right past it. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I like how you asked like we're at a tea.
Messy. Shut up.
You asked like we're at a tea and she did something egregiously wrong.
On my show.
But I was patient and I allowed you to complete that.
That was very kind of you. So what's going on, Yolanda?
Sound.
So today, Coy, I was thinking about you when I was telling Sybil that this is the question that I thought that we should ask. So, one of my little girls, Justice, is having a birthday coming up. And it's a big birthday for her. I don't think she will mind me saying she's turning 30. And it is I know, right? It is a really, really, birthday. And Sybil said it happened for her at 20, these birthday milestones. And so it just made me start thinking about it because, I'm telling you, if I had a little girl, she has checked every box on the way I would want my little girl to do as far as going to school, getting your education, meeting a man, getting a good job, having a baby, all of that nonsense that we put on.
Getting married, having the baby, doing it all in that
order.
Yeah.
So, but my question is, so she's like, oh, but there's so much that I needed to do. And, I'm behind. And I was like, whoa, Nelly, it's like, you got time. You got time. It's like, you got time. And who am I to say somebody's timeline, right? Because we all get to choose what we think we should be doing. So my question is, because I thought about me, because I'm a little restless these days, I'm honest to say. So Coy, in your life, with what you have in your head, all the things that you want to do and experience in life, can you give me one thing or two things that you feel like you're running out of time to do, like you need to get this done?
I feel like I'm running out of time with having children, getting married and having children. I feel like I'm running out of time. I don't know if I'm running out of time, but I'm almost at the point where I'm like, is that even going to happen? Like, is it even, right. And not even like the possibility, is it in fact going to happen? Mm-hmm. Those are one of the things I like to experience. I've had a lot of other experiences in my life, and I feel like I've gotten over the phase of like, crazy decisions. Like when I decided to move to New York, all of a sudden, like, right. I'm a lot more stable now. And
hold on, wait.
I just like this experience.
So last week I was in Sedona. You wasn't here last week, but I was in Sedona. And while I was there, I'm thinking about Coy, because my thing is I'm too stable and I'm really a free spirit. And I have been stable for a long time. And it's like, I'm really thinking about just getting up and moving, like going to New York or just something. I just want to go and do something. Now, but the older you get, the older I get, the more trepidatious I am about doing things. And I think that is something that comes with age. But back to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. And for me, I think my idea of how marriage and children and a household I don't think it's like what a lot of people would imagine in a sense. And I don't know if people understand, not that like what I think is like controversial or anything like that. I don't think a lot of people have accepted themselves to the point where they can bring themselves to be with somebody that fully embraces who they are and their idea of how.
So when you say somebody, are you the somebody?
Or
probably maybe
are they the somebody?
Oh, okay. No, I was
maybe I think it kind of goes both ways. I think it goes both ways.
Okay.
I think it goes both ways.
So you really want to be a mother? Is that really a desire of your heart? You want to be a mother? Do you need a partner to be a mother?
Yeah.
You do. You don't want to do it by yourself?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, have you considered, because this is the one thing that nobody told me that is real. It will get to a point where it would be more of a struggle to have babies. And so have you considered freezing your eggs?
I thought about that a few years ago, and then there was someone that told me some side effects to that.
Like what?
I can't remember what it was, but it was something that possibly could cause like some kind of complication. I was like, wow. And then another person told me, yeah, it's kind of expensive. Like you have to pay for it every month or something like that. Yeah. So I would have to do a little more research to find out like, hey, is this something that I can do? what is the financial cost behind this? Can I get this, financed or,
And would you consider a sperm donor so you don't have to do the freezing of the eggs? Would you consider getting a sperm
She
donor?
wants a partner. She wants a partner. She don't
But
want
I
to do
mean,
Yeah.
I meant come to a point where like I'm not going to meet that partner, or maybe it's a woman. I don't know. And you consider and you want to have children. Would you consider a sperm donor?
I don't want to, because the availability of sperm is not from
Oh,
the
easy.
pool of people that I want to choose from. I want
But
black
you can
children.
pick
I
the
want a black
person,
man. I want black children. I
right?
can, but there's a lot of, and I've known this from people that have gone through this process and had children. And one of them was a really good friend that her and her partner, who is a woman, went through this process, and they explained why their children are the race that they are, because they're black and like another race. And she said there just simply wasn't a lot to choose from, and from what we chose from, they weren't ideal with what we wanted. So eventually we had to come to a decision. We really wanted a child, and this is what we had to choose from. And she ended up being blessed with twins. But yeah, so yeah, that's the reality of things. There are a lot of things that medically we either don't have access to, or that we're not knowledgeable about, or that we shun as a Black community because of a lot of different things, a lot of different nuances, so many
myths,
different,
a lot of myths, and
a lot of myths.
we take a lot. Well, I know somebody who knows somebody who experienced. We do a lot of that. We turned out a lot of stuff based off of what we heard with somebody else that somebody else heard that they experienced.
Mm-hmm. And I just figure if I was surprised to my parents, they were married for like 3 years. The doctor told my mom that, oh yeah, you can't get pregnant for a while because you just got off birth control, bad advice. And I was surprised. So I figured
maybe it was good advice, good because you're here. So it was a good thing, not a bad thing.
Maybe I need to take birth control, get off of it, and then I can get pregnant. But I don't know. It's just, I feel like that's an experience I like to have. I like to see me in another generation. I'm interested to see what I create.
Well, a lot of people are commenting about adoption.
But she wants, like she said, she wants to see what she creates.
I want to have my own. I consider that.
I'd like to see some of their things if they are responding to the question.
Yeah, I was thinking about adoption about 10 years ago. And I was looking into the list of children who were up for adoption in Georgia, and the requirements and stuff like that. I still like to have a partner.
My sister has a batch. You've met sister. She got a batch of kids if you need some.
Yolanda, let's not try to give children away.
Oh, okay.
I'm an excellent babysitter though. Oh,
are you? You probably fun. You probably
very fun and creative. And
what about you?
Responsible.
The question is, what is something you feel like you're running out of time that you really want to do?
I've been thinking about that for the last several hours. I don't know. I don't have. I mean, I'm past the need to get married.
Beautiful. That is a very good place to be. Praise God.
She didn't mention the bar.
Well, I haven't run out of time.
Yeah, she hasn't run out of time for that. Yeah. So that's a different question, Coy. Not what is it something you want to do or hope or dream or that you plan. No, this is something that you're not going to be able to do at a certain point just because of our bodies or opportunities or money or whatever.
Right.
So,
I mean, if I really wanted to have children, I would adopt. I mean, even at my age, I would adopt because that's something that I can still do, and I don't have the need to give birth. Not that I could. That horse is definitely out the barn at this point. But
it could be Sarah in the Bible.
It could be Sarah. I'm with you, Coy. I read that story too, Sybil.
Me too. And that's when God has a tremendous sense of humor. man have to give up beer? Are you kidding me? And coffee? No,
Just for
thank you.
9 months. That's
No,
Yeah.
thank you. No, thank you. But
Okay.
there's
Well,
really
you know
nothing
what,
that I
Sybil? It's
can't do.
beautiful. So what's really, really cool, and I think that's what peace is. If you can be content with where you are and what you're doing and find peace in it.
Yeah.
And as much as I really, really search for peace, and you know, I'm such a free spirit that I'm never settled. I've been
Until
married
now.
for 10 years
And do you
somehow.
and were you feeling that? Because I think you were before you went to Sedona. You were feeling a
Oh
kind of
yeah.
restlessness.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I gotta do something. And I feel like I'm running out of time. I had a friend that died last week. I know somebody that died. I have a relative that had a stroke. I had an accident, and it's like, come on, let's time is ticking. And I just don't want to, but because also, Coy, I mean, I don't know if it is, you having enough sex, because there's going to be a certain time that you're not going to be able to have quality sex. You're not. Is it
Really? I don't think that's ever going to.
it's real.
Oh,
It's real. Because when you 70 and you trying to get it on, you might have to go get a 40-year-old, because I'm not sure that 70 and 80-year-old men are going to be doing it like they say they are. But
Or they promise you that they can.
right.
Well, I don't know. It's been a lot. It's been super dry lately, so definitely not
Okay.
having
All
enough.
right.
But what about travel?
I'm irritated.
There's a certain, because even like going to shows, back in the day, I wouldn't think much about all the walking and all of that it takes to go to shows. I'm not doing that anymore.
All right.
I'm too old for all of that, with all of those people and all that loud music and all.
Oh my gosh, you sound like you're 100.
I know, right? No,
Well,
I can do it. We just need to get there a little earlier. That's all.
That's nice, yeah. But keep living, and even traveling. I don't know that I could. I don't know that I could just jump up and go on a plane. And I have certain ways that I have to do things now.
Yeah, we can't travel in steerage anymore. Is that what you're saying? You like to be inside the plane these days?
Right. And I can't sleep anywhere. I have to have it's a lot. It's a lot to getting on. I'm just running. And so you're just like, well, maybe I ain't gonna be able to do that anymore. And there are some things I know people say, age ain't nothing but a number. You are what you think and all of that. That's cute. But the reality is there are certain things you are not. I used to jump rope. That was my thing.
That was your exercise, yeah.
I can't jump rope anymore. And I shouldn't have, because I think I ruined, my feet doing all that pounding for all those years. But anyway, there is. So I want you to think about those things that you really, really want to do, and try to figure out to get a plan and to execute them, because it is a certain thing is running out of time. It ain't cool to say, it ain't popular, it ain't positive. And, I try to be as positive as possible with reality.
Well, how do you plan for a husband and a baby when the participants won't cooperate?
Well,
it might be both of you not cooperating.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, that's good.
I'm serious.
Good. Yeah.
You can deny it, but you're denying.
What's your role in it? Yeah.
What part do you play in this?
Are you ready for a partner that you want?
Yep.
No. Are you ready for the partner that you want?
Probably not completely.
You want to be?
We can get there. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. Every day. Trying.
What does that look like?
Ooh, working on my mentality, getting my place organized. I've been moving some stuff around, so my table is broken right now. It broke, and I've been, moving some stuff around. I got some new things, some old things that are going out. I would love to really get this place the way I want it, in working order, so every room is functional and not just, a storage space. There are things I like to do with my dad's house to get that up and going, because I need it and want it to be a rental property. There's a lot of different things I'd like to do with handling my stress a lot better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if you run out of time for that. I think that's a lifelong process.
Yeah, and it's not. I'm not running out of time for that, but I do feel like I could be better at some of these things. So it's not something that my partner would feel like he would have to take on or have to come in and fix and stuff like that. And there's some things I could do that are a little bit better with like self-reliance in terms of emotions and stuff like that. Um, yeah, but I feel like I'm at a place where, not to say that I'm perfect, I would never say that. But I feel like if I were to be with somebody, we could grow together. It could be a growing, ongoing project, us two, whatever
Okay.
else we're
Good
doing.
for you. Well, I wish that for you, Coy.
Yeah,
I
good
wish
luck.
that for you. And I just say just really, really intentionally date these days. Don't date just because he fine or just because he got money, but be
Hmm.
intentional about the date and be realistic. They'll show you who they are. Really believe them.
Yeah, I think I know I'm pretty intentional and realistic. And I think that kind of throws people off because of how real and understanding of who you are I am. And I think that throws people off because they
Right.
feel like they have to be
Well,
one
where's
way.
your
And I'm like,
sign?
huh?
Where's your sign?
Yeah. What? Oh.
No, I mean,
No, 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 no. I was responding to Michelle.
isn't
Isn't
that
that
the
the
point
point
of
of
a partner to fix stuff?
not me?
No, no, no. But
Yeah.
everybody wants a Ward right. Sybil, Ward fixed the toilet last night. He can fix anything in our house. He really can. And he has a law degree.
He's a Mr. Fix It. Yeah, he
Yep.
really is. And
Yep.
Yolanda's like, Ward will do it. He likes it. And she called me the other night. What are you doing? I said, I'm changing light bulbs. Why would you want to do that? I was like, because they needed
Yeah.
changing.
Fixing stuff is cool. Both of us using our strengths to have a great, partnership, relationship. I think that's great.
But I was raised by a woman after my dad died, being my mother, and having to do things without having to call on somebody at
Same.
all hours of the night or whatever. So I just became very I became very accustomed to doing that, Michelle. But I guess it is nice, to have somebody fix stuff.
Yeah.
But really, the only stuff he
It
needs to
is
fix is
nice.
right here. So if that's too much, then I don't know.
It is
Yolanda,
nice
do
to
we
have
have
that.
anybody else?
I just want to end it with this one. And this is what I believe.
Regina Glover on Facebook says aging also sometimes comes with unexpected illness too, which can reroute your plans. Yes,
Yep.
can change
Yep.
whatever, and that's what they say. How to make God laugh is you make plans, and because you're like, okay, when I'm 30, I'm going to do this. When I'm 40, I'm going to do this. When I'm 50, I'm going to do this.
Oh
When I'm
yeah.
60, and then all of a sudden you're like, but I had a plan to do this, and God says, no, I'm the planner.
Yeah, because I definitely had a totally different
Yeah.
life plan. And it's so funny. I was talking about this with an end user whose computer I was fixing earlier today at work. And she was like, wow, you just started here and went completely different from, where you started. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I really did like this zigzag roundabout. And yeah, I knew I was going to be married with kids by 28. And by the time I hit 28, I had been single for 3 years and not a prospect in sight.
Wow.
So yeah, thought I was supposed to be a doctor right now. I was supposed to be a neurosurgeon.
Yeah. Well, Sybil, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to pose this to Coy, because I really thought about you today when I was asking Sybil this.
And I think it's a question that we could revisit because we do have a bunch of Gen Zers, Gen Xers,
Mhm.
and ZYX to the second powers people that could also we could use this question and also for people to give us the experience of their lives and share with us if they've reached a point where they have like they're pretty much gypsies. And then all of a sudden they reach the point where I haven't moved in 2.5 months. What am I doing sitting here? Or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And so um, we'll do that again. All right. To resume our other question, our other area about trending. Fans are mourning the death of Tito Jackson, a long
Oh my
time
goodness.
a long time Jackson. Oh, we didn't talk about this today?
No.
I'm sorry. I, I,
Oh,
I
what's
did not do my job to inform you of the news today.
going on? Oh, was he the
Uh,
oldest?
no, he's in the middle there. He was second oldest to Jackie of the
Jack.
Jackson Five.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
but he was 70 years old. According to a longtime friend and former Jackson family manager, made the announcement via Entertainment Tonight last night. This was confirmed in an Instagram post by his three sons, the 3T, Taj, Terrell, and TJ Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
They were part of that R&B trio 3T in the 1990s. They said, "We are shocked, saddened, and heartbroken. Our father was an incredible man who cared about everyone and their well-being." He said, "He will be missed tremendously. It will forever be Tito time for us. Please
Oh,
remember to do what our father always preached, and that is love one another. We love you, Pops."
oh,
And,
that's
in one of my text chains last night, I said, he was the nicest Jackson
yeah,
that
he
I
really
ever met.
was.
He was very kind to me, and in a time where, um, he didn't have to be. He was a Jackson,
Right.
and I remember hosting a room, and this was my first opportunity to host a room, and where his band was playing, and it was in the basement room of the boat, and not one of the main floors or what have you. And he would sit out and watch me talk before I introduced him and the band. And then when he got off the boat, he was just very, very kind, and just, wanting to talk about, the radio show and stuff like that. And not like, "What's Tom like?" Not one of those, but just really talk about what we do, and things like that. And was very open to talking about his life. And so, do you remember, Yolanda, when I don't know if you were still on the ship
No,
at
I
the
was,
time,
yeah, I remember, yeah.
and he got off in San Juan, and we were all sitting around a table, an outdoor cafe, just talking. And he was just he's so average guy. He
Yeah.
was the coolest because he was just
He
so
was
chill.
cool.
He
Yeah,
was
he
just
was
so
cool.
chill. And a friend of mine said, "Well, what about Jackie?" And I said, "Jackie was very kind, and he was very mannerable.
Hmm.
But Tito was just so, and I don't want to demean him by saying he was just an average guy, but he didn't hold himself up to be anything more than he actually was. He
So
was he was Tito from Gary.
if he was 71 next week and Jackie is the oldest, so he's in his 70s. How
Mm-hmm.
old is Miss Jackson?
Miss Jackson is in her 90s,
Wow,
I
that is
believe.
so cool.
I believe she might have hit 90 by now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
I'm sure someone will correct us, but I think that's a great thing for his sons, to say, to live how he, preached, and that is love one another. And you can't ask for more than that. The original member of the Jackson Five was 70 years old. Investigators are still looking at what they believe yesterday was, what could have been an attempted assassination of Donald Trump at his golf course in Florida. They report the suspect was charged, but he did not fire any shots. His setup was found, the gun was found, his backpacks were found. All of these things were found, but they have no evidence that the gun was fired or that he did it, just that he ran away when he was discovered by a member of the Secret Service. His name is I'm sorry, Ryan Wesley Ruth. He's 58 years old, and they said that they had the setup, that he did not have Donald Trump in his sight lines, and did not fire his semi-automatic rifle during the confrontation with the Secret Service on duty on Sunday. So how they're going to charge him, and what they're going to, he was charged two federal gun charges: possessing a firearm as a felon, and possessing a firearm with an obliterated serial number, so it's scratched out. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, and Donald Trump, I'm good, I will not be, okay, you're lucky.
I got a couple theories on that.
What you, of course you do. What are your theories, Corey?
Either the Secret Service is the worst security detail in the United States, because how was this a possibility when there was a recent failed assassination attempt on the same person. Like they didn't increase security. They're just letting him go about life as normal, more so out in the open or out in the open, even though, you know, something like this just happened. Either they're the worst security detail and they failed, or this is fake.
So,
because how are we a trigger happy country with all these people that keep missing?
Well,
the other guy didn't miss. I mean, he got pretty close. He did fire. They said this one didn't fire. I'm sorry, go ahead, Yolanda.
When you say how do they let him,
right.
They can't stop him. I have been just in my small role of being responsible for celebrities. You can't tell grown people what to do,
and especially hard-headed ones.
Yes, and I can imagine he would be a hard person to detail. Even going back to last week when he did the debate, and then he wasn't supposed to. They
go into the spin room.
Out. He's like, no, I'm going over here to the spin room. It's like, no, that's not how this works. Guess what? He went to the spin room,
and Secret Service is going, okay.
What can they do?
More people around the perimeter. Cameras.
Well, there is a certain number of people that are assigned to active presidents and vice presidents. That's they have, they're surrounded. Once they leave office, that number is reduced, and there's nothing they can do in terms of the reduction in the number of Secret Service people. You
mean to tell me they reduce it even if an assassination attempt happened?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're just gonna leave him out in the open like that. Like, well, somebody tried and failed, but we ain't gonna add nothing else.
Heed what they tell him to do. Like even they're telling him now that he not to do outside rallies. He is insisting.
He's still going and doing the outdoor rally.
So they put that big thing up for him.
Yeah, they need that poppin' fresh van that the Pope had.
Or he need not do outside rallies.
He needs to talk to 50 Cent and use the same type of truck.
If he was still president, they would sweep the golf course and no one would be allowed on the course at any time.
I know former drug dealers with better security.
Well, yeah, but they're not following the United States government.
They have better security, though. I'm just saying. It's not like he doesn't have the money.
Well, that's not what he wants to spend his money on.
Right, obviously.
He's not.
He could hire extra security. He doesn't want to do that.
Everybody get to live their lives. And if he's fine, I'm the Secret Service, gone. Live your life. I mean, you can't be responsible for somebody. You can only care as much as they care.
Right.
Anyway.
A lot of folks are responding on social media, including Elon Musk. He had to delete a post within hours in which he is trying to spin his now deleted Biden-Harris assassination attempt as jokes. He said, well, one lesson I learned is just because I say something to a group and they laugh doesn't mean it's going to be all that hilarious as a post. He said, no one's trying to assassinate Harris or Biden.
I'm with Shirley Ann Sybil.
And Shirley Ann Tony Davis says, moving right along. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying by any means am I saying that he should be assassinated. No, it's not good, y'all.
Well, no. Oh, okay. I don't think that's what we were saying you were saying.
No, I'm just saying, just in case, like if anybody wanted to know, like, no, that's not. If that is a real thing, no, this should not be happening at all.
Well, Elon Musk is learning how to use his very queer sense of humor to his best advantage, and is getting slayed for it. Of course, yesterday also, before he went out onto the golf course, he posted, "I hate Taylor Swift," like a 78-year-old man is in all caps saying, "I hate Taylor Swift" on his social media account. And so then everybody is responding to that. and including, because Taylor Swift came out last week and endorsed Kamala Harris. So someone who stands with Donald Trump is Lil Pump. Lil Pump apparently is going through some things online, and he's having a meltdown over Taylor Swift announcing that she is voting for Kamala Harris. The man who known for "I Love It" came out against Taylor Swift, and he's calling her. He said, "F you," pretty much. He's having a meltdown online over the Taylor Swift love that a lot of people are supporting her, and her 284 million followers. Maybe because you're a billionaire and voting for her has zero impact on your life. You said that I just lost it again. But you said that no, where is his ramblings? Hang on one second.
That's all right. That's how we all feel, lost.
We're
Yeah,
trying to figure it out. We're trying to
not
figure it
really. We're
out.
not trying to figure it out. No.
He called him he called him his leader, and said that he is keeping posting about Taylor ripping her, and announced that you have no clue why you're even voting for Kamala. Maybe because you're a billionaire and voting her would have zero impact on your life. You said you do your research. Clearly, you didn't do your research. Right after the debates, you endorsed her. LOL. Right after she lied many, many times.
We
Sounds
still
like
have yet
Donald
to see
Trump.
these lies.
Many, many times. He wasn't so eloquent Sunday when he told her to go F herself. That's nice, Lil Pump. That's nice. That's nice. Let's move to entertainment. Gymnast Jordan Childs, as Shirley Ann said, moving on. Olympic gymnast Jordan Childs is taking her fight over losing her Olympic bronze medal to a Swiss high court in Switzerland. Her attorneys announced that they have filed a formal appeal with the Swiss Federal Tribunal over the results in the women's floor exercise final at the recent Olympics in Paris, asking the tribunal to overturn an earlier ruling by the Court of Arbitration that effectively knocked Childs off the podium with her third place. She moved to third place after challenging the judge's score on one of the elements of her routine, then bumped back down to fifth days later after the Olympic judges ruled that the challenge was submitted 4 seconds too late. The International Olympic Committee has asked her to return the return the bronze medal. Yeah, hold your breath
He
there.
hasn't returned it yet?
No.
Okay.
They have awarded one to the woman from Romania
Oh,
who was
good.
elevated to third place after the ruling. And so it's interesting. Her appeals, according to her judge, her appeals present the international community with an easy legal question. Will everyone stand by while an Olympic athlete who has done only the right thing is stripped of her medal because of fundamental unfairness in an ad hoc arbitration process? That's what her attorney Maurice Sue said. The answer to that question should be no. Every part of the Olympics, including the arbitration process, should stand for fair play. Um, I don't know if they'll ever come to an agreement, but they should change some rules. I don't know how I don't know how China is allowed to perform in the Olympics when they have all had drug tests, and they have fought the drug test. And they're like, "Oh, you're right. It was from the hotel, and you got it in your system. You got drugs in your system from being in a hotel with the air system." Yeah, okay. Go ahead
Yeah,
and
they got it at the
yeah,
hotel, all right.
yeah. So I agree. I think that it's a little suspect, and it is not a fair way of doing things. Yolanda, we're going to close out with the jewel. Would you like to read it, or would you
I would love to read it.
and talk about
I
it?
am so excited about this week's Jewels. And I got this again from talking to Justice and all those things. My advice to her, all the things that you want to do, go for it. And don't allow fear, because a lot of times we don't do stuff because we are afraid. But embrace failure is one of the best things as a young person that I did. I wasn't afraid to fail. And so I went for it. And that's how I believe that's how I became so successful, because I would just go for it. And where other people were a little trepidatious. But anyway, the jewel is by embracing failure, we become more resilient and can confidently handle future challenges. embracing failure. Side note, Sybil, was I right in saying can confidently handle future challenges? I should have asked you that before I printed it.
Yeah, you are confident in the way you handle
Okay, cool.
challenges
Okay,
confidently. It's
okay. So yeah,
fabulous.
that's
Yeah,
it.
good,
That's
good job. I think that's a great focus for an address at a high school graduation. I think
Mm,
that young people, eighth grade, ninth grade, um, senior year of high
yeah,
school,
that's good.
can only be encouraged to do that then. Because even when you're in college, you're like, oh my God, I got to go out and get a job. I'm going to have this plan and this plan and this plan by the time I'm 30, by the time I'm 35. And, giving them that advice. And as my mother used to say, what do you got to lose?
That's why I made
So
erasers.
let's go. Thanks, Coy. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye,
Yes.
Yolanda.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody. Go out there and be good.